Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Steve Mantis, and we have kind of a special show today. We want to start off the show recognizing some of the volunteers that have been active in our community. And I want to start with a shout out for 4 people that were recognized recently for their contribution around inclusion of people with disabilities in our community. This is the 10th anniversary of the Accessibility for Ontarians with a Disability Act. And the Ontario government created special awards to recognize people who have made a significant contribution in our community. There was an award ceremony recently at City Council, and we have 4 people that were recognized: Tessa Soderberg, Vilma Johnson, Maurice Rubinick, and Gregory Snyder. The last 2 are active with our Thunder Bay Injured Workers Support Group, and I just feel extra special that, some of our folks were recognized for their contributions. Yeah. With that, I want to then go to our special guest today, Jules Tupker. Jules also just received an award from the Bay Credit Union. The Ilka Ovaska Social Responsibility Award was presented, and Jules was nominated and clearly the winner. He received a check for $500 to the charity of his choice. And I want to welcome Jules to the show today.
Thanks, Steve. Nice to be here.
Well, I'm just pumped to have you here. I've known you for a number of years, and I know I know some only of the good works that you do in our community. So tell me a little bit more about this award you received just recently.
Well, it was a surprise to me. I was notified about a month ago, I guess, by the United Way, saying they were putting my name in for this award, and it was for social responsibility because of all the work that I do with the United Way. So, and of course, I'm never in the business to be given awards, but so I said no, I don't want to have any part of it. They said no, we're going to put your name in, and because we think you deserve this award. So that's how it started. And a week later, I found out that the Injured Workers Support Group had also put my name in. So it was rather a shock for me that 2 organizations had put my name in at the same time for this wonderful award. It's quite an honor.
So So you are donating that $500 to the United Way. Tell me a little bit more. Why the United Way? What do you see that is so valuable with your work with United Way?
Well, first of all, I'm donating it to the United Way because I was not able to split it both ways because I knew both organizations and they wouldn't let me split the award. So it's going to the United Way, and I will make up the difference for the for the injured workers. But the United Way, I've been involved with the United Way for many years, 11 years since I retired in 2004. And it's just such a wonderful organization. It does so many great things for this community, and it follows up on what I did when I worked for the union. I worked for the City of Thunder Bay. I was president of the local, and I looked after my members. We had issues, grievances, or health and safety issues, or healthcare issues. And as president of the local, I made sure that my members were looked after, and so that carried on when I retired. Obviously, I couldn't do that for the union members specifically, so the United Way just sort of filtered into that whole process, and because they do got great things for the community. So I thought that would be a great opportunity for me to carry on, because it's sort of, I don't know where it comes from, but it's ingrained in my being that I want to do these things.
So you've got a foundation from being a union activist,
right,
with the city workers.
Yep.
Really that's the best part of unions in a way, is looking after each other.
Exactly.
And so there is a structure there already within the union movement and collective agreements and all that kind of stuff. You retire, and now you're kind of going, okay, there are people in the community who don't have those kind of connections.
Exactly, yep. That's exactly what it was. There was all kinds of people that in the union movement, like I say, we have the whole union idea of supporting each other and helping each other. And if somebody has a problem, you come to the union, and the union will help you. And whereas if you're in the workplace or in the community and you don't have the union support, or you do and the union's not helping you, or just need some support of some sort, then you have to go to an agency. United Way for me, I felt the United Way provided a lot of those supports for the community.
And so tell me a little bit more about the United Way. How do they provide that kind of support? What's the focus of the United Way here in Thunder Bay?
Well, the United Way has been around for many, many years, and in fact, it was formed through the collaboration between the Chamber of Commerce and the Canadian Labour Congress. So there is a union link to the United Way also. It was
Okay.
Canadian Labour Congress.
Because lots of times we just hear about businesses that are doing all this contribution, but really it's a
Right.
partnership
Absolutely.
between the union movement and the business community.
Right. That's what created the United Way, and so the United Way, the original idea with the United Way was to collect funds for agencies. So, and that's what we've been doing for many, many years. The United Way collects and goes out as a campaign, which officially runs from the middle of September to the middle of November. However, over the years, it's sort of expanded to run pretty well all year long, and we always have special events in the spring and in the summer and stuff like that. So we collect funds for agencies. Agencies come to us with programs that they provide for the community, and they have to convince the United Way that their programs that they're providing are worthwhile, and then we review them through an allocations process and award them the money that that most of the time they ask for a lot of money that we can't afford because we only have a certain amount of money through the campaign. We have a very stringent allocations process. We have volunteers that do that process, and they allocate that money to those agencies that provide those services.
So you told me earlier that the United Way has kind of three areas of focus. You were talking about community, poverty, and kids. Let's look at those one at a time.
Okay.
What do they do around the community?
Well, around the community, there's a number of agencies that provide services in the community. So so again, those agencies would come to us with a request for funding to provide those services. It could be the CAM clothing service. They provide clothing for the community, which helps those people. And so they come to us and say we need a certain amount of money to run the business, to provide that service to the people, and this is how much we need. So so that's just one example.
So the United Way isn't providing that direct service, but they're
No.
doing the fundraising to share that funds with the agencies that are doing that frontline service.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we don't provide any services at all. That's not the intent of the United Way. We collect the money for those agencies. The agencies provide the service, but they have to convince us that the service that they're providing, those programs, are of a use and a value to the community.
And so the second area was poverty. So what's the United Way's focus there around poverty issues?
Well, again, we know that there's a fair bit of poverty in the community, and a number of the agencies that we fund 30 agencies this year in our community, and they provide 64 programs this year. Every year it can vary. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less, and the agencies provide different programs. But again, it's agencies that provide a service to people that are in poverty through all kinds of different programs that they have. Yeah.
And the last area was around kids.
Yep.
So any example of things that happen in the community that are supported by the United Way that help out kids?
Yeah, a classic one is the Boys and Girls Club, right? I mean, Albert Aiello and that group there, they do wonderful work for the kids, and they're always out there, and they are a big agency that we support. They do a lot of work in the community, and we provide funding for a number of their programs that they have. The breakfast program that they have is a wonderful program, and there's a number of other agencies that have breakfast programs also that we fund.
Right away, I think about Our Kids Count.
Yep.
Which is
One of our agencies.
both families and kids. Of course, kids are connected to families.
Yep.
And they do all kinds of interesting programs over there.
Absolutely.
And I guess they've got a hub there in the East End, but they do programs all over the city, I believe.
Yeah, they have one in Westfort. They have the main one on Mackenzie Street, of course. That's their big one, and they have a wonderful program there too. The thing is, and we have the three pillars in United Way, but they're all connected. All these things are all connected. Poverty, children living in poverty, families living in poverty. We provide money for the food bank also. The Thunder Bay Food Bank receives a lot of money from the United Way also. We're basically their main source of income besides their own fundraising programs. So again, that's an issue for the poverty, right? But everything is all connected. So and I'm very interested in that sort of stuff. Also, I'm also involved with the Thunder Bay Health Coalition, and again, you talk to people, they have health problems, and you find out that people with health problems, a lot of people that have health problems have poverty problems also, and people that are in poverty are usually have poor health. So I find that it's all connected, and it's very interesting for me, and it's something that I find worthwhile to work on.
And what other areas are you volunteering in as well?
Well, as you know, I'm with the Thunder Bay Injured Workers Support Group, which again is something that's dear to my heart. Again, people that are struggling through because of workplace injuries, and of course that gets back to my union days when I was with the union, making sure that the guys work safely, that the men and women in the union work safely, because you can be an injured worker in a second, in an absolute instant. You can be there, not a problem, and all of a sudden you can be injured, and I witnessed that in the workplace. So when I talked to you, I ran to you a number of years ago, and I thought it's a worthwhile organization that I thought I'd join, and so that's what I do. I do that. I'm also involved, as I said, with Thunder Bay Health Coalition, and I'm also on the board of the Ontario Health Coalition. So we're an affiliate. We're affiliated with the Ontario Health Coalition, and we do lobbying for long-term care, for home care, for healthcare issues. On a regular basis. There's always a need for more money, for more care for people. My mother-in-law was at Pinewood Court, and I joined the family council there. So again, long-term care, people that are struggling in long-term care homes that because of shortage of staff. Again, the government had made cuts to funding to long-term care homes, and it becomes an issue. There's certainly not enough time, enough staff to provide the services that there should be for people in long-term care homes, and it's something that I'm interested in and that I work on there also.
Well, it's people like you, Jules, that make Thunder Bay such a good community as it is. There's only so much we can do in the public sector with that kind of tax money, and it's volunteers that really kind of fill in all those gaps. And once again, I want to thank you for all the great work you do in Thunder Bay. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, thank you, Steve. It's great to be able to do what I do, and I'm only one part of that whole process. It's so neat to be able to work with people. I got the award last night, and yet, as I said last night in my little speech, that I'm only one person in that whole process, and there's so many people. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are doing what I do, and to get an award for that is wonderful. But I know there's all kinds of people that deserve the award just as much as I do, or even more than I do. But it's something that is dear to my heart, and I continue to do it.
I also want to give a shout out to the folks here at Shaw Cable TV, because they provide the opportunity to, have guests like Jules come on and find out what's going on in the community. And I really hope that this kind of interests you, our viewers, to maybe say, hey, I can help out too. I've got some time, I've got some interest, and help out in making our community a better place for all of us. Please stay with us. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.